All right, everybody. Oh, today has been good. Man, Carolyn's killed it. Doug has killed it. Keith has killed it, and it's time for someone to bring this building down. You get me. This is it. I'm ready. I'm so pumped for this hour. This is the final class of the 2023 Summer Stream Live. Oh, this is going to be great. And I've got a real big surprise. You don't want to leave early. I'm telling you, this is going to end on a high that you are just going to go out ready to knock doors in, get people into your office, be on fire for chiropractic, man. That's how big we're going to end this thing. That's how big we're going. Are you ready? I hope you're ready. Now, here's what I want to talk about. All right? Here's where I got this idea. I got this idea from a very unique place. I have a friend. I have a friend who is currently in a relationship. And they are in a relationship that everybody's kind of hoping is maybe it's going to go somewhere. You know how you do like when your friends get in relationships, like if it seems like it's a serious one, if it seems like a real one, you start thinking like, ooh, when's one of them going to propose? When's that going to happen? And you start kind of seeing it and kind of picking apart, especially if you're in a relationship, you start to even kind of compare your own relationship and you start seeing it. So I have this friend in a relationship. It's been going for quite a while. We were thinking the proposal was coming. Christmas, maybe that would happen then because it's Christmas. I mean, it's a common easy time. Well, Christmas did not. Then Valentine's happened. No, I mean, that's a good one. Then the anniversary, then like we've been together a while, so there's an anniversary there and it didn't happen then. And after a while, you start thinking, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And what you start thinking then is, how committed are they? Like, maybe we read this wrong. Maybe we went into this with the wrong sort of concept. Maybe we thought about it the wrong way. Maybe this relationship isn't as smooth as we thought. Maybe it isn't going in the direction it needs to be. Maybe someone isn't really that committed. Maybe, and we start kind of picking each one apart. Like, is it them? Now this one, they seem just all in it. They seem like, oh, they're in love. They are head over heels. But the other one, maybe there's something else there. Now, I know as I'm starting this, I know what I know how your brains work. Ryan, I did not sign up for a marriage conference. This is not a relationship. This is a chiropractic event. Oh, I get it. But I can't just do it without giving you a real world example. And I know that this seems like, what in the world? What kind of connection are you going to make to this? But here's what I want you to know, because here's the thing we've all known growing up. Since the dawn of Facebook, one of the most important things is your relationship status. Are you in a status? And if someone even starts dating, you're like, are they Facebook official? Are they legitimately public? Like, is it a thing like, how deep into this relationship are we? How does it work? And you're already thinking, well, Ryan, that has nothing to do with my job. It has nothing to do with chiropractic. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Here's what I want to ask you. What's your business relationship status? Okay. What's your business relationship status? See, in your job right now, you committed. When you took a job, whether you opened the practice and took the job because you opened it, or you took a job because you're an associate or you're a staff member, whatever it is, when you accepted the position, you committed. You committed to the responsibilities that were offered. You committed to the role that you were going to do. You made a commitment. And I'm here wanting to know, what is your relationship status with that commitment? Are you really in this thing? Are you really doing this thing? Are you in this for the long haul? Are you in this because you're committed to why we're here, or are you just in here faking it, acting like you're committed? See, there's a difference. You can be in a relationship and one person can be in love and the other person can be in like. One person can be all in for the end of the time and forever and saying I do's, and the other person can be like, I'm just here for fun. There can be two totally different people, but we can all act the same thing. And what typically happens in most relationships is that everybody talks a certain way. They say it because they don't want to upset the other person. They don't want to let the other person know what they're really thinking. And what ends up happening is the reason most relationships break is because somebody decided, I'm not really that committed to this. And as a job, as a place you're going to spend every day, as a place you're coming in constantly, I need to know, your boss needs to know, doctor, you need to know for yourself, are you committed to chiropractic? Are you committed to your patients? Are you committed to the results? Are you committed to the relationships that we have here? So are you committed, or are you already looking elsewhere? I'm saying it out loud. Are you committed to this, or are you looking elsewhere? I'm not saying you should look around the room, but some of you, I know that there's some people out there right now who have been searching monster.com. I know some of you have been out there looking at other jobs. And if you're looking at other jobs, you can't tell me that you're committed to this if you're already looking elsewhere. If you look at that like a relationship, if your husband says he's committed, but he's also looking on match.com, he's not that committed. You can't tell me you're committed. You can't tell me you're all in. You can't tell me this is what you want and this is what you're a part of if you're looking elsewhere. See, I want a team where nobody's looking elsewhere. I want a team that's in this, that is till death do us part. I want a team that is here for the love, for better, for worse, for all the visits or dropped out visits, for all the appointments or missed appointments. I want it for the whole deal, for rich or for poor, for elite or not elite. I don't care. I want to make sure you're committed, because if you're looking elsewhere, you're not committed. And I want to make sure everybody on this team is committed. If you're not committed, if you're looking elsewhere, man, it's time to bow out. It's time to walk away, because you're bringing this office relationship down, because you're not committed. You're not in it like everybody else could be in it. You're not in it like your doctor's in it. That's a problem. When you're looking elsewhere, ooh, we can't do that. Can't do that. We got to be staying right here. Are you committed? Are you committed? Now, here's an easy one. How do you talk about your business relationship? How do you talk about your job? When you tell people that you work for such and such family chiropractic, do you tell them like, well, you know, I work for this chiropractor and it's okay. Or do you, oh man, I work at chiropractic. It's great. We heal people. Oh, we get to change lives. Oh, we're making this huge impact. You wouldn't believe all the stuff we're doing. It's so wonderful. See, I can tell. If I'm just a person listening in, I can tell about your relationship by how you talk about your relationship. When you talk about your relationship, if you're dating someone and you're like, he's okay. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. That's not going to work. You're not really in it. But if you're like, oh, he's Prince Charming. He's wonderful. Oh, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I love him. I can tell. I can tell how much you care. I can tell if you're in love. I can tell if you're in this thing. I can tell if you want to stay. I can tell if you want to keep it going just by how you talk. And that's no different than how you talk about your job. Now, I realize that this class is going to seem very heavily like it's focused at staff members, but I'm telling you it's not, because there's a lot of owning doctors out there. When I ask them about their job, when I ask them about their business, when I ask them about what they own, when they talk about it, it tells me they're not that committed. It tells me that they've kind of lost interest along the way. And you can kind of tell that when they start just buying random nonsense, looking at random therapies, saying I'm investing in this other. No, you're not. You're just not committed to your purpose. You're not committed to your dream. See, this isn't just about staff. This is about everybody in this room. Are you committed to this thing or not? Are you willing, doctor, to take the vows with chiropractic? Are you willing to take the vows with this office? Are you willing to say, I'm here, I'm staying, I'm committed, I love this? But how do you talk? Because even if you love it, you can't love it if you talk negatively about it. You can't say, well, you know, I do love it, Ryan. I do love everything about it. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's great. It's wonderful. But, you know, insurance is dragging me down. Oh, everything. There's all these rules. I hate this. How about, let's just go cash. The state association, all these requirements, the government, no, knock it off. If you're in a relationship and you're in a loving, committed relationship and you're all in on this relationship, there ain't nothing that's going to stop this relationship. There's nothing that can stop this business. All those little negative things you start to talk about, you start to push, you start to let wiggle in there. I'm telling you what they're going to do is they're going to eat apart at your business relationship. They're going to eat apart of your office. They're going to eat apart your business. And what they're going to do is they're going to cause you to lose. They're going to cause you to drop your commitment. They're going to cause you to have the wrong thoughts. They're going to cause you to have the wrong ideas. They're going to cause you to take the wrong steps because you're not committed. It starts with how you talk, because how you talk is what you commit to. How you talk means everything. If you're willing to tell me this is the greatest thing ever, it's the greatest thing ever. When I ask you about it, if your first thought is let me talk about the flaws, the commitment isn't there. Oh, I'm telling you this. I don't know if I'm preaching right now. This is some good stuff, man. I hope you are getting it. I've realized this may hit home for a few of you, may hit home in other ways, and that's understandable. But here, do you love it? I want to ask it. I got to ask it. Are you willing to say it out loud today? Are you willing to say, do you love chiropractic or do you like it? Do you love it or do you like it? Do you love it? Do you love it? Would you do anything for it? I got kids. I got 3 kids. I got an 11-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And they do some stuff. My 4-year-old took a fly swatter to our television. The biggest TV I got in this house, it was this 65-inch TV. He took a fly swatter to it and wrecked that sucker. Destroyed it. Just absolute destruction. And it wasn't just some cheap, it was a nice TV. And man, oh man, there are moments like that when you come in there and the TV's in pieces and you think, I am going to kill this child. But there's a reason I don't. There's a reason I keep him around. There's a reason I take care of him. There's a reason I do everything for him. There's a reason I bought a brand new TV that afternoon and put it in so he could get back to watching his shows like Bluey. And there's a reason. It's because I love him. And when I love him, I can forgive the TV and I can get another one and keep things going. Well, I love him. I do it differently. Now, if your kid broke my TV, I'd be pretty angry. I'd probably even hold it against you. You know what? If your kid broke my TV, I'm probably not inviting you over again. I'm probably going to make sure, be like, that kid's not allowed here. And you know why I wouldn't allow that kid here? You know I wouldn't want to be friends with you anymore? You know why I'd hold that against you? Because I don't love you. I like you. And like is a different commitment. See, do you just like your job or do you love your job? Do you just like completing tasks or do you love the results? Do you love the patients? Do you love seeing people get healed? Do you love all of us working together for a greater cause? Do you love this thing or do you like this thing? See, I need people who love chiropractic here. I want all the like people to go elsewhere. Go to medical. They don't love anything. They don't have good results. They don't have anything. There's a reason why, staff, if you don't realize it, there's a reason why a family physician, their malpractice insurance is $50,000 to $60,000 per year, and your chiropractic doctor, their malpractice insurance is $2,000 a year. There's a reason. It's because there's less effectiveness over there. There's more issues over there. There's more problems. There's more risks. They're doing stuff. They're hurting people. It's not going very well. If you just like people, you should go there. That's where you should go. You'd be a great fit. If you just like people, but you're not really worried about them enough to make sure it's the right thing, to make sure it's the best treatment, yeah, go over there. But for me in my house, I love this thing. There's a reason why I choose chiropractic first, and it's because I love it. There's a reason why when I say it's the answer, it should be the number one solution. It's because I love it. If I didn't love it, if I just liked it, my answer wouldn't be chiropractic is the solution. My answer would be, chiropractic can be a good option. Heard that? I've heard doctors say that. I've heard staff say that. Well, chiropractic, it works for some people. Does that sound like you love it? Or does that sound you like it? No, I love it. Just like if I talk about our own company, I love what we do here. I love the impact we're making. I love how we're changing the world. I love what we are doing. And you know why I love it? I love it because I'm seeing the impact and I see how I'm changing lives. And if you ask me, Ryan, does coaching work? Does integrity? Oh, yeah, it works every time. It's the best thing ever. It always works. It is awesome. If you listen and you follow instructions, it will work. Now, if I didn't love this thing and I just like this thing, I'd be like, it's good for some people. No, man. I love it. I don't like it. I love it. I love this relationship. I don't just like this relationship. I love this relationship. Now, here's the next one. This is the one that's the kicker. This is the one that takes everything to a different level. How do you act in your business relationship? Now, I'm not talking like how you act with patients. I'm not talking about like, I smile at them. Like, I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is when you're in a relationship with someone, you can tell me you love them. You can say you're in love. You can say this is the one. This is my soulmate. But if your actions don't reflect what you're saying, it really doesn't matter what you say. So even in my friend's relationship, I've been told for a year that, they're ready to get married. They talk about marriage all the time. They're ready. It's gonna be the biggest. They tell me all these details. But then when I look at the person that's supposed to ask, and I see the actions, my mind starts to think, you know what? I don't think what they're saying is real. I think somebody's just hoping. I think somebody's just wishing. I think somebody's been doing some major praying. Because when I look at the actions tell me something different. The actions say, I don't know. The actions say, it doesn't look like. This is the same for your business. It's one thing for you to tell me, yes, I love our office. Yes, I love chiropractic. Yes, I love our purpose. Yes, I love what we're doing here. Yes, I love the impact we're making. But if the way you're acting in the office, if you're the one that's also the first one to leave, if you're also the one always encouraging, can we go early? Can we go home early? If you're the one trying to get out of here the fastest, I don't know, man. Your actions are saying something different. If you're the one that's, I'm going to hit it home today. If you're the one that's watching this live stream with your arms crossed, acting like you don't give a crap, I realize I might have singled somebody out, but hey, if you act like this is annoying, I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to, go anywhere else. This is required everywhere. Any job that's worth anything, any job that has an impact or anything, they have requirements. They have learning requirements. They have training requirements. They have conferences. They have all kinds of things. This is inescapable. The trick is if you love doing this, if you love listening, you love being a part of it, and you love to take part, and you love to learn more and take on more and get more, then you love this thing and you'll do this. But if you don't, you're in that like mode. Your relationship status is kind of faltering here a little bit. Your actions speak, man. Your actions speak. You can tell the doctor you love it, but everybody else will know they don't love it. They like it. See, I realize it's a pain in the butt to get up early. I realize, you know what else is a pain in the butt? It's a pain in the butt to fly to every conference, which I do. That's a pain in the butt. But you know why I do it? Because I love it. You know, it's stressful to run this live stream. It's stressful to see it. Is this going to work? Is the internet going to drop? Is it going to fail? Are we going to have issues? Is everybody going to do this right? Are we going to say something wrong? Am I going to say something wrong? Probably already said something wrong. That's okay. I forgive myself. I'm good. I hope you do too at some point. But all of this, everything that we do it because we love it. Love means I will get up when I need to get up. Love means I will show up when I need to show up. Love means I will take a plane after a hurricane to get to you. Love means I will make sure that this live stream works. I will make sure that everybody's on board. I will make sure that everybody's fired up. I want to make sure you have fun. I want to give you a scavenger hunt. I want to give you all this. I want to make this awesome. I want to make this fun. I want to make this great because I love it. but your actions speak differently. And if I wasn't really keyed in, if I was just like, I'm going to miss this weekend, I'm going to skip this one, somebody else fill in, you'd know. And you'd even start to say it. I think he's losing it. I think he's losing the commitment. I don't think he loves it. It happens in all business relationships. And sometimes it falls apart for each person in different times. But how you act matters. So staff, here's what I want to see from you. I want to see you commit to those patients. Okay? I want to see you commit to them. I want to see your commitment to them. Maybe it's a lot easier, rather than saying I'm committed to my job, to rather put it on the customer. Rather than be committed to the job, which feels kind of empty, commit to the people. Commit to those faces. Commit to those families. Commit to those people who are healed, that are happy, that are wellness patients. Look at each wellness patient as someone that you help change their life. Be committed to them. See, in all types of commitment, the easiest way to commit is to commit to realizing what the impact is. That's where you should be committing. Commit to that impact, team. Commit to them. Commit to those patients. Commit to them. Tell them that you won't leave them behind. You're going to make sure they get through. You're going to see them through this. You're going to get them through this. It's going to be awesome. You are going to love it. It's going to be great. If you're in billing, commit to the collections. Commit to it. Commit to it. You want that money. You need that money. That money has to be with you. It needs it. You need it. You need to hold hands with it. You need to cuddle with it. You need to just wrap up in it. Like I said last year, I want you to Scrooge McDuck it. I want you diving through piles of gold, because that's yours. Commit to the collections. Don't just call them once. Oh, they couldn't pay me today. No. Call them. Call them. Get on there. Drive them crazy. Know their location. I want you to stalk them, man. That's how committed you are. You won't let that money go. You wouldn't let that money escape, nor than I would let just my kid wander off with somebody else and them just be like, oh, you can't have them today. No. That's my kid. No, that's my wife. No. That's my money. Give me my money. I'm calling. I'm going to drive you crazy until I get mine. Commit to the collections. Practice reps. Commit to the screenings. Quit trying to act like you can't go on dates. That's what a screening is, a date. It's a time to go out and meet new people. It's a time to meet, socialize, get close, scan them, and sign them, bucko. It is time to get them. Quit acting like you can do it all just from the seat of your computer. No. It's time. You got to plan the dates. You got to go on the dates, and you got to do this thing. You got to get people. So go plan the event, go to the event, and meet as many new people as you can. If you don't like meeting people, I got one simple, honest answer for it. You're in the wrong position. Commit to the screenings. You got to meet new people. You got to just love screenings. You got to just do screenings. That's what you're there. You should love each new person. And each new person you sign up is someone you brought into the committed relationship with chiropractic. You just want us another one. You just want something that's going to be awesome. Commit to it. Associates, commit to healing more. Your goal shouldn't be to take vacations. Your goal shouldn't be to have time off. Your goal should be to heal people. Quit looking at visits like, oh, I have to have this many visits. No, look at it as the people. These are people. These are people that are entrusting you. You got this degree so that people could trust you with their lives, with their health, for the betterment of it. Now it's here. Now it's time. It is time to save these people. Quit worrying about all the little details. You need to heal. You need to say the right things. You need to get them to come back on their treatment plans. They need to believe you. And why? Because you should believe everything you're saying, because you love them. Because you love this. Owning DC, I mentioned it earlier. If you're the owning doctor, again, I'm just going to remind you. I need you to commit to your purpose. This isn't just about everybody else. This is about you too. It's time to commit to your purpose. It's time to own it. It's time to love it. What is your purpose? It's the why behind it. It's what we're doing. The purpose is the destination. We're here to heal the land. We're here to change lives. We're here to take chiropractic to be number one. We're tired of everything else. We're tired of medical being number one. They're not cutting it. They're not doing it. We don't need another one of their dumb vaccines. What we really need is everyone to come to you so that everyone can experience wellness, true, real, natural wellness, the way it was intended, the way God created it, the way that it is supposed to be. But I can't do that if you're not committed to it. The staff can't do it if you're not committed to it. Everybody can't just come together if you're flaking out. Doc, I need you. I need you. Hear me loud and clear. I need your commitment. I need your commitment to chiropractic. I need your commitment to your patients. I need your commitment to natural, to healing, not to other stuff, not to worrying about money, not to worrying about outside things, not to worrying about taking care of other things and getting all these things done. I need your commitment. I need it right now. I need you to say it. I need your vow. I need it for better, for worse. It's chiropractic, man. Love it. Love it. Commit to it. Let it fire you up. Let it just make you want to go out and sing. I want you to have a love in your heart that makes you want to start your own musical. I want you to be out there dancing in the streets. Chiropractic, chiropractic is the greatest you're gonna. I want you just on fire. I want people looking at you like you're a weirdo, man. Why? Because you love it. You love chiropractic. You love this thing. It is awesome. It is great. It's the best profession ever because it is. Not just because I'm saying so, not just because I'm trying to pump you up, because it is. Nothing better. Nothing better. So everybody, if you can't get it, if you can't tell by now, it's time to commit. It's time to commit. It's time to own up. Is this the relationship for me? If I'm ready to do this, if I'm ready to love it, I'm ready. I am committing. I am full. I am proposing to this thing. I want to be with it forever. I'm locking in some vows because I want to help people. I want to heal people. I want to change lives. I want to make a difference because that's really what this is all about. It's all about making a difference. And in the end, that difference is breathed through passion. And you know, there's something about passion. Passion is a thing that can't be denied. It's not something that you can just buy. It's not something you just sign up for. It's not even really something that you just kind of look at and hope like, oh yeah, I got passion. No, it's something that stirs inside of you. And when you have it, it's hard to contain it. It's impossible to not let it out. And that's why I know you're thinking, oh, Ryan, you're coming in for closure. Yeah, but there's something else. See, I don't think that there's anyone in our company that displays passion like this next person. Okay? Yeah, that's right. This is one you're not expecting. I'm gonna switch my screen over here in a second because I wanna do something. I wanna open this up because I want to invite someone in that you may know, but you may not really know. And that's Lynn Smothers. Lynn is the most passionate lover of chiropractic I've ever met. That includes all the years of meeting doctors nationwide, meeting owners of other companies, doctors who've been in it, the whole game. I'm talking this Lynn Smothers, man. She knows. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch over here. I'm going to switch over to Zoom. I got to kind of click on my computer here. I'm going to switch it over. And I want to talk to her. I want to share her story with you. I want you to hear it from her. And I think you'll see what a relationship in chiropractic looks like when it's on fire. All right? All right. So here, Lynn, I know you're there. Just give me a second. Here we go. Welcome, Lynn Smothers. Lynn, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. I am so blessed and honored to be here with you guys today. Nothing like doing Summer Spectacular and being a part of this conference. So thank you for asking me to do this.
Of course. If you could kind of start, I want for everyone who's watching to be able to kind of feel your passion because I know you're you're a very passionate person. You've always been a very passionate person, whether you've done that when you before you worked for us, now that you've been working for us. But I kind of want to start a little bit at the beginning. If you could kind of tell me where did you get your chiropractic start? Like, when did you first experience chiropractic care?
Well, I knew Dr. Mayfield. Hi, Dr. Mayfield. I knew Dr. Mayfield. I knew a lot about her. We were on the chamber together. And I actually had lost my job, was looking for another job, but I didn't just want a job. I wanted a job where I could really be out in the community. I knew a lot of people in the community. Like, how can I really touch their heart the way that I want to touch their heart? I walked into Dr. Mayfield's office. They offered me a position on the spot, took home the How to Stay Young class, if we all remember that. Dr. Mayfield said, listen to this and call me. I think 45 minutes later, Ryan, I'm like, when can I start? Can I start today? This is exactly what I want to do. She, in turn, said, yeah, come in tomorrow. We'll get you started tomorrow. And that is how my journey started.
Wow, wow. So had you been a patient of hers ever before? Had you done chiropractic at any or been to a chiropractor before?
No,
No. So that was
never.
so
I
you
knew
just
Dr. Mayfield, but kind of I had a history with Dr. Mayfield because 10 or 12 years prior to that, I had breast cancer. And I set up the Relay for Life in Jefferson County, and her doctors and her team joined me. And that's how I met her. And it's just, I mean, talk about God putting you at the right place at the right time. Then this happens. And as you can see, as we talk later, you'll see, oh my gosh, the connection that nobody even seen coming that day.
wow. So you started working for it. You were sold on what you heard in the How to Stay Young class.
I
You were
was.
sold on the mission, the whole works, and you hadn't even been a patient yet.
Not at all. I listened to that CD, How to Stay Young. And she said, this is your job. If you can preach this message to people out in the community, then this is a job for you. And if you have a hard time with any of this, we'll talk about it. I'm like, no, I want to start. I think it was 8:30 at night when I called her, said, can I start tonight? She's like, no, but you can start tomorrow morning. And that was how I got my start.
Wow. Wow. So then how long into your experience with her did you really start, kind of getting to know us and kind of discovering who we are and what we did?
6 weeks after that, I went to my first integrity conference. And that's when I met you. And that's when I met Keith. And Keith scared the bejesus out of me at that conference because he said, there's somebody out there I want you guys to meet. 6 weeks into this job, guys, 6 weeks. Keith Maule, the Keith Maule, pulls me on stage and had me tell my story. I think 6 weeks into it, I was at 42 new patients. I just
Wow.
couldn't wait to shout it from the rooftops. Everybody needed to experience what she could do. The way that you felt after an adjustment was just amazing to me. And I was probably in my middle 50s at that time. Could do things again that I really had seen was kind of pulling me back just a little bit. I'm like, wow, this is like a breath of youth with getting an adjustment. This is some good stuff she's doing. I just really went out and preached that gospel, and that's really 6 weeks into it. I had hit my new patient goal for 3 months.
Wow. Wow. So we're talking all of this moved moved very quickly. And then you became a coach for us. So at what point how soon, how long did you go before you did that? How long were you just working in the office before? Because if I recall correctly, weren't you still worked in the office for a while you were coaching for us?
I did. I did. And I can say I'm still a part of the proactive team today because I mean, wow, the stuff that Dr. Mayfield can do for people in my community. Probably my goal since I've been a coach is always to try to hit 5 to 10 new patients for one of our doctors. And I can say I've successfully done that in the last almost 7 years as a coach already.
Wow.
Just
So when so from when that time when Keith told you that, he believed you were going to do this, that this was a big thing for you. When did you come on working for us after that?
about 4 years later.
4 years later. That's all. And you were
Years.
with Dr. Mayfield that whole time.
I
The
was.
Wow, wow. For those of you who may not know, Dr. Mayfield has been an awesome long time elite doctor for us. She was a coach for us as well. So I mean, they are an incredible team there at Proactive Chiropractic. So that's truly awesome. Now, naturally, somewhere along the line there, I think I know the date. I think I could tell you, but somewhere along the line there, some not so great news. It seemed like it was kind of, I want to say 2017. Does that sound correct? Was it around there?
Correct.
So what was that? If you could kind of explain to what you were hit with, and this is while you were working for us. This is while you're working for Dr. Mayfield. What news did you get?
Well, I was a coach about a year, but of course I saw Dr. Mayfield every single month for my wellness exam still. And we were blessed with our grandson, who is very, very handicapped. He will never see, hear, talk, walk. He's our little man. And I mean, I live and breathe for that little boy, anybody who knows me. That is my survivor buddy all the way. But I thought that I was just getting sick because we were going through a lot. He was in ICU. We were told if he lived 6 days, it would be a miracle. He's here 6 years now.
Wow.
Um, Going through a lot. That's a lot on a family. Everybody had to jump in and kind of help raise this little boy who had a lot of medical issues. And me and Dr. Lynette talked about that. She said, you know what, though? Something's not right with you. So I saw my medical doctor after I saw her first. Dr. Mayfield being my first contact when I even sneeze and cough wrong. Um, I saw my medical doctor. He sent me in for an ultrasound. The test came back negative, Ryan. Normal gallbladder ultrasound, normal ultrasound KUB. Nothing showed. Dr. Mayfield said, I don't believe that. Something's going on. I couldn't eat. I was losing weight and I couldn't eat ice cream. Anybody who knows me, if I can't eat ice cream, that's a big deal because I love ice cream. So she said, let's get some more tests done. So we went back to the doctor again and they did some more x-rays. Still nothing, Ryan. This is like 8 weeks into it now. I was doing coaching calls and I talked to Dr. Mayfield that afternoon and I said, I'm really having shortness of breath. She said, stop coaching calls. I'll call Shelly. Tell her we're going to take care of the calls. You get somebody to take you to the hospital. I get to the hospital. They take me over and do an ultrasound and an x-ray. And I will never forget that doctor walks in and says, how strong of a woman are you? And I said, I'm pretty strong. Throw it at me. What's going on? I can handle it. He said, you have ovarian cancer. And he said, it's so bad that we're shipping you by ambulance tonight. I'm like, I can't go tonight. I got calls in the morning. I don't have my computer with me. Shelly is going to clobber me if I don't get those calls done. He said, you're going. They called an ambulance. I went. I saw an oncologist the next morning. She said, you've got a lot of cancer going on in your belly, lady. We're scheduling you for surgery in a couple days. So got to come home, got to do my calls a couple days. We went back in and had surgery. It was a lot of surgery. It was really tough on my family. From what I understand, they gave me 8 pints of blood. I think you bleed out at 10. I'm not a medical person, but I think so. And probably they came out some point and said, we have to call in another surgeon. She's got so much cancer growing in her stomach that we now have to even do a colostomy. Well, my husband knows there's 2 things I said. If you ever sign a permit for a trach or a colostomy, I'll divorce you when I can. I've worked in the medical field. I've taken care of both of those patients and it was no fun. So he told my daughter, I can't sign that. They got to wake your mom up. She's like, give me the paper. I'll sign it. I'll sign your name. The doctor told my daughter, I don't know if she's going to make it. She said, you don't know my mom. My mom's pretty strong. Get out of surgery, was in ICU, I think 5 or 7 days, Ryan, on a vent, 24 hours. They got me off that, thank God. But they had to do a lot of surgery, a lot of blood that I had lost. They said, your mom is probably going to never be able to maybe walk normal, maybe ever work again. Look at me, work. Just been a blessing. I, at that point in time, had to heal up from my surgery. I did a round of chemo at that point in time. I will never forget being home, maybe 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. And I got a call from Shelly. Shelly said, how long are you going to lay on that couch and feel sorry for yourself? And I said, oh my God, really? She's like, I know what you love to do. And I cried and said, you know what? You're right. She said, do 2 calls. Let's start you out with 2 calls. Next week, we'll do 5 calls. Within a month, I think I was doing 30 calls with Shelly. Bottom line is, listen to Shelly. She knows what she's talking about. She knew exactly what I needed, and I needed my PRs on the other end, making me feel more special, Ryan, than I could ever make them feel. Now I had more of a mission than I've ever had before, because if I was not seeing Dr. Mayfield, I don't think I'd be here. And they told me, if you make it 6 months, you have a fighting chance. 5.5 years, and I'm still here, and I'm still working. And I can't say working because this is not a job. When you get to change the way people get to live, the way people get to work, bottom line is the way I get to play with my grandkids. Last weekend, I almost broke my neck on a slip and slide, Ryan, for goodness sakes, because it held 120 pounds and I was 118 and I was going up that thing and I was sliding back down it. I couldn't do those kind of things. I guess a month ago, we found out that the bad boy is kind of coming back again. My cancer medication is not really holding it at bay. So they put me on a new medication. That new medication, listen to this side effect. Get rid of the cancer cells, but you won't be able to walk. So I'm not going to choose cancer cells over walking. I'm going to do both. So what we did is we just upped my adjustments to every week. I have not had one problem. I'm walking just fine, thank you. And why? Because of my lifesaver, Dr. Mayfield. The bottom line is, if I can do it, we can all do it.
You know, I have to kind of, I want to go back for a second because I want to make sure I don't, you know, even you tell, like there was a lot in there, and there was something that I want to make sure that because I'm guessing, just because I know what ovarian cancer is, because you know my aunt passed from it. If I'm guessing you were probably given stage 4, would that be correct?
That is correct.
So stage 4 cancer. You said in there, because I want to make sure, because you blew past it, but it's a bigger thing. They told you had 6 months. Is that?
That is correct. When I was first diagnosed,
they gave you 6 months to live, and here we are over 5 years later.
5.5.
5.5 years later.
I'm counting. I count the months, Ryan. I count the months. It'll be 6 years, December 1st, guys.
6 years, December 1st. Now, in that time period, what, like from the time that you got out of surgery, you got better and you got home, during the last, let's say 4 years before this latest news, how often do you get adjusted? Like, how often do you go to the doctor?
It really depends. I go once a month for my wellness exam. But if I cough or sneeze, we go to the doctor. If I'm just not feeling right that day or extremely tired, I call Dr. Mayfield's office. And I think that her entire staff has been trained. I could almost bet that if Lynn Smothers calls, she gets on the schedule with somebody today, which I'm sure. I want to think that I'm that special, that they make allowances for me. but I really feel that's just how they treat all of their patients, honestly. Maybe a tad bit better with me,
Hmm.
but I can say I've worked there and I know that's how she treats them all.
Would you say during this time, and during the time that you've obviously passed the 6 month mark, what was the most adjustments you got at one time? Like, were you going weekly? Like would
When I first came home from the hospital, Dr. Mayfield did visits on my front porch. Honestly, we wore a mask. She did them on my front porch because she did not want to bring germs into my house. When I first went home, she was coming by twice a week. And I'm sure we did that for 2 months. A house call she did for 2 solid months. Then we probably went to the office once a week. And anytime I do chemo, the IV chemo, this will be the third time in 5 years. Then we go back to weekly adjustments, just
weekly adjustments?
because, if nothing else, I get to see her amazing staff and her.
Well, I mean, and here's the one thing that I think is the one of the biggest, neatest things about this, because I think you would kind of attribute it to chiropractic anyway. For you to say now that the cancer is back, that means it went away. That means ovarian, which is about the worst one, if we're being honest. It's one of the
Yes,
worst. It doesn't ever go away. It's
right,
the one that usually is if they tell you 6 months, it's 6 months. And for
right.
you to have been told 6 months and then go 5 years, what what did your cancer doctors think of this? What has been their reaction?
Well, my cancer doctor is the professor of Washington University Hospital, teaching hospital. And every time I go in to see her, she's got a ton of students. And my advice to them, and she just giggles, she's like, you are in for a treat when you go in and see this lady. My best advice to them is I'm like, you've got this degree to treat cancer. Now you need to go to Logan. It's right here, not far. Because if you could do both and adjust, just think of the patients you could save.
So
They
would
all
you
kind
so would you say, just to be totally clear, to make it as easy as possible, would you say that these 5 years, would you credit that to chiropractic? Would you
yes,
say
I
that
would.
you would say
I would
that the
keep,
reason you have gotten better, the reason you are here today is because of chiropractic?
I would. And having a good mindset.
Yeah.
I
See,
can just tell you the way I feel after chemo. And you get to be friends with other chemo patients. You really develop a relationship with them. Sad to say, you don't really keep those relationships long because they're not making it. You are. They're not stage 4. I'm stage 4. They're stage 1 and stage 2. I cannot tell you how many of them that I've given out Dr. Mayfield's card. Like, this is the success. This is what you need to do.
so what would for anyone out there that's, let's say, that's a new staff member, or a new doctor who hasn't had much experience in the profession yet, you know, what would you tell them about this profession? What would you tell them about what chiropractic means to you?
It saved my life. When I get to coach for integrity and talk to my PRs, they all hear my story. If this is making this much of a difference to a stage 4 ovarian cancer patient, 90% of the people, 90% of us today on the call, you guys aren't dealing with this. Just imagine what you could do with a normal person.
Mhm.
And I always go back to, it makes perfectly good sense. We are getting rid of the nerve interference, and God knows how much nerve interference I must have with the chemo drugs. They give you these chemo drugs to kill cancer. Well, it doesn't put up a shield over your liver and your lungs and your heart. I'm tested every month for all that stuff. Ryan, it's not affecting anything. Why do you think that is? Because we put a cage over all that by keeping everything working. I will never forget Dr. Mayfield taught me what you're doing is the body's got a big cell phone in it, and everything in your body, Lynn, is getting the right signal, and it's to naturally heal. When everything's in line, everything's getting the right signal. That's got to be the picture here. That's got to be what we're doing. And like I said, if it's done it to me, just imagine what we get to do as practice reps, for goodness sakes. You get to be that person that takes somebody's hand and takes them to the right doctor that can save their life. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome. Well, I think one of the key reasons that I asked you to do this, and I didn't say this when we started because I knew where it would go. I know your passion for this thing, and I think we have taught team members, doctors for years that when you're talking to patients, to kind of keep a record of what we call we have a patient too, or I know a patient too. And I truly believe that this is one that every office should be using. I think I wanted all of them to meet you so that they could say, hey, I've met a patient who. And I think that there are loads of us who have been in situations where you hear things like this, but your story is just amazing. There's no way around it. And your passion for chiropractic is amazing. And if we could get all of our patients and all of our team members and all of our doctors in the profession, for that matter, to have the passion for this thing that you have, this profession will be absolutely unstoppable.
And we have to, because people are dying from cancer and they don't have to.
That's right. That's right. And you know it's the reason. This is the reason you're here. And 6 years later, you're not going anywhere. And we know that. We have seen that. There's been hiccups all along this way, but
Yes.
every time it comes. And I will say there's some prayer in there too. We have our
Exactly.
times where we throw that out there too. That's definitely played a part. But at the end of the day, Lynn, we are blessed to have you. We are grateful for you. We love you. We appreciate you being a member of our team. And every single person who gets to hear this today now is a better person for it. So thank you for joining us today. We are grateful.
Thank you for believing in me. If it weren't for you and Keith, just imagine where I'd be.
You got it.
I'm just so blessed to be a part of this Integrity family.
Thank you, Lynn.
Love you.
Love you too. I don't know about you, but this has been one awesome day, and there's no better way to end it. There's just no better way to end it. That was incredible. What an incredible person. What an incredible story, and all because of chiropractic. Do you love it? Do you love it? Are you committed to this thing? I hope so. I know I am. The coupon code is live. Get it. Couple hours left to order. Get in there. Get the retention booster. Check that out. It's going to be awesome. Get your stuff ordered. Thanks for watching today, everybody. We greatly appreciate it. We love doing this. God bless you. We love you. You're in the right place at the right time. Thanks for watching.